TV series, a fan-made series created by non-fans. Welcome back to another episode of Geeking Around. I'm Lewis Michael. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. This is not really a review. We will go over some of the episodes. So far, there has been 2 episodes that released the time of recording this. More of my overall thoughts about the series and about like video game adaptations and these weird practices that they do in Hollywood, that when they adopt a video game and like comic books as well and other stuff like this. So yeah, let's get into it. Halo the TV series, a fan-made series created by non-fans. We didn't look at the game. Halo's showrunner Stephen Kane told Varsity in a recent interview that the crew behind the new live-action series was not interested in staying true to the source material. We didn't talk about the game, he added, much to the frustrations of Halo enthusiasts all over the world. We talked about the characters in the world, so I never felt limited by it being a game. Kane isn't the false filmmaker who has boldly abandoned the source material. In fact, it's almost as if it's an unspoken rule in Hollywood, particularly in recent years. This practice isn't exclusive to video game films. One can see it in Star Wars, comic books, and even video games themselves. Why create a production for the fans when you can make it for everyone? Paramount Plus Chief Programming Officer Tanya Gildes in the same interview stated, "This is a swing for a broad audience." She says, "My hope is this spans what Paramount Plus brand can mean." Gildes talks about NFL dads watching the show with their teenage sons and how her connection to the Halo TV series impressed her own teenage sons. It is incredibly corporate and cringe-worthy, but it's nothing new. When it comes to video game adaptation, the justification she implores is the same as we've seen for decades. Halo already has a fan base that many will watch it regardless of what happens, so let's develop a show that panders to viewers who aren't Halo gamers. It makes sense that studios would want the production to appeal to the largest audience they can reach. Unfortunately, this logic has always failed. The issue is that the studios, for unknown reason, don't understand how Halo or Star Wars are multi-million-dollar franchise with already a large dedicated fans. The enthusiasm of fans is the one thing that draws non-gamers into video game films. Arcane's great success for Netflix last year was due to the positive word of mouth. League of Legends fans and gamers raved about it, urging their friends and families to watch it. It was a fantastic show with a mass appeal, but it wouldn't have been as successful if it had taken its established fan base for granted. Like so many creators before, the showrunner's comics suggests he considered gaming to be a lowbrow medium. It's an odd belief to anyone who enjoys video games, but it fits in with an arrogance we've seen from Hollywood time and time again. The reason couldn't be a generation things. These creators could come from a time when video games were regarded as toys for children, lacking artistic quality, much like how comic books were once thought of. Many members of past generations are uninterested in video games and have no idea how much the medium have progressed in terms of maturity and art since the days of Space Invaders. This isn't good news for the Halo TV series, which has already beginning airing weekly episodes on Paramount Plus. Reviews for the first 2 episodes has been released and unsurprisingly are mostly negative, noting awkward performance and uninspiring imagery. It's obvious that the fans of the games are feeling alienated as a result of Kane's and Gildes' words and the direction the show seems to be going. Maybe this will be a turning point for Hollywood to stop swinging for a broad audience and create films that will appeal to the dedicated fans, although I doubt they will ever long. So yeah, like before, I think it was a week before the false episode came out, Varsity, the showrunner as well as the programming officer, they both went on there talking about how they didn't look at the game, they didn't play none of the game. The whole creative team actually did not play any of the games, and I could be wrong about this, but I think I read as well that they didn't even really look at a lot of the novels or the comic books. They only really looked at a few of them, and that was it. It's like, okay, so you are tasked with creating a TV series adaptation, a live action adaptation on one of the biggest, if not the biggest, video game franchise out there, and you didn't even play the game. Like, I have so many people on social media attacking me like, oh, why would they have to play the game? Because it was one of the biggest video game franchises out there. Why wouldn't you not play the game? I had someone else said it's like writing a book report about a book that you never even read before. I think that's a very good example. I just don't understand why Hollywood continue to do stuff like this, and when it comes out and a lot of fans don't like it, of course they go and blame the fans, saying that they toxic. And I'm just getting so sick and tired of this. It's like me and my cousin was talking about how YouTubers and stuff are doing a better job at adopting these franchises. Like look at Star Wars. Like, I've seen so many Star Wars fan films on YouTube that was so much better than what we got with the sequel trilogy. And these kids, and that's what it is. These kids are not giving $200 million to create it. They just doing it out of fun. Like, they just having fun doing it, and they come out so much better. There's an actual passion to it. This is what I think why like Dune and Zack Snyder Justice League are so great, because everyone was so passionate about the project. Where to me, a lot of these other franchises like the Halo TV series and like the Star Wars sequels and so many others, is that it's just another paycheck to them. They didn't really care that it was based off of one of the biggest, video game franchise. I don't know. It's just crazy to think that after all this time and all these failed adaptations and stuff, that they continue to do it. And I think that's part of the reason why, like, that new Mortal Kombat movie didn't do all that great. Wasn't all that great because they tried to appeal to a much more broader audience. So I think that if they just didn't try to do that, I think just like with Arcane, these fans of the franchise watch these adaptations and then actually it's good, they're gonna go and tell everyone how good it is, and then you get more and more. When it's word of mouth, it does usually take a little longer to gain that momentum, but still, I think this is where like Marvel, the MCU, kind of ruin things. They think that if you don't get $1 billion the first week the movie released or whatever, it's a failure. Like, no. They got a couple months in theaters. Give it some time. Look at the Batman. It's getting pretty close to getting $1 billion. They thought it was going to be much quicker getting to $1 billion, but it's getting close. One thing, speaking of the MCU, I did hear someone make the argument for, not looking solely at the source material, is that a lot of them MCU movies aren't really that comic book correct. They're not, and that is true. They're not the most comic book correct adaptations, and they do make billions of dollars at the box office. Most of them did. Recently, I think Spider-Man, which is more Sony than it is actually MCU, I think that's the only one in recent years that did make $1 billion. Yeah, because I think like Endgame was really the last one. But yeah, like, I can see the point there in saying that, but like, to me, I just feel like the fans of the MCU is a different type of breed than what a lot of these other franchises are. like, I mean, I think that's the only reason why they got to be $1 billion. Then again, you also gotta remember that a lot of the MCU, even though I criticize them quite a bit, a lot of them are actually quite good. Yeah, they wasn't very close to the original comic books that they are based off of, but you know, they was actually very good adaptation of it. And I think that's where a lot of people are not understanding that these was actually good adaptations of the characters, and actually still, even with all the changes that they made to the characters and to the stories, it still respected the characters. It kind of like Batman the Animated Series. That was a very good adaptation that people still today consider one of the best adaptations of a comic book, let alone of Batman. And you know, when you respect the source material and you actually make a good product, people will still love it, even if it's not that close to the original source. Now with this Halo, I've seen 2 episodes of it so far, of this recording, and I don't know, I think the false one tried too hard to, you know, get the gamers, the Halo fans to like it, because it's like we got right into the action into it, and it was actually pretty violent and like bloody. Saw somebody's head get shot off, like explode, and plus they was like cussing and stuff, and so I think they was trying to go for that edginess to it, and like, oh, look at us, we're cool and edgy, how all you game boys like it. You know, I think it was just trying too hard. Episode 2 wasn't a bad episode. It just that, again, the whole them not sticking to the source material and doing whatever they felt was the right thing to do. And I feel like this is gonna be like Boba Fett once it's all said and done, that there's gonna be some episodes that are actually quite good, but there's gonna be episodes that like just ruin it for everyone. And I think those episodes that's gonna ruin it for everyone is those episodes that they didn't stick to the source material. And in these False 2 episodes, we already seen that they didn't really spend too much time with the source material. I mean, again, this is why I kind of believe in this whole gatekeeping, you know, like, I'm sure there's plenty of creators, you know, filmmakers out there that are huge fans of all these adaptations that Hollywood is doing. They just keep hiring people that not really are fans. And as big as Halo is, I bet there's gonna be quite a bit of people out there that are fans of it. But yeah, well, that's all the time I got. Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? Do you like it so far? Or what do you not like so far? Just leave a comment and let's talk about it, and tell me what was your favorite Halo adaptation. As an anime fan, I did like the Halo Legend one, especially the one with the dinosaur. That was funny. the little kids kept calling him Robot. That's a cheap robot. Can describe. Got some more great videos coming in the pipeline. There's gonna be Morbius, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, and the Multitude of Madness. The Obi-Wan series that unfortunately did get delayed 2 days later, but to me, I personally liked it, having it all on May the 25th, considering it will be the 40th anniversary of the release of Star Wars. But also make sure to look in the description for some cool links. We got links to the Geeking Around Network website, where you can get more articles and reviews and news and videos on there. Also, my webcomic Kira, a Star Wars story that's, I think, is better than a better adaptation than what the sequel trilogy is. That's just me though, because I'm the creator. But I do have the second part to Kira, a Star Wars story, coming out very soon as a web novel. I hope everyone likes it, and so make sure you check that out. And if you ever want to become a podcaster yourself or YouTuber, check out my gear list. It has links to Amazon, to all the equipment that I use, as well as the drawing equipment that I use to create my comic books and drawings and stuff. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I see you next time. Bye.